Hey guys, it's Jackson here from Titanic Games, and today we're going to go ahead and get started adding in the animation states that we will be kind of using for equipping our weapons and such. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. So if you recall from the previous tutorial, we retargeted all these animations for using swords and such. So let's go ahead and start creating some blend spaces from these that we can use to drive our movement. So what we'll do is we'll right click and we're going to go to animation, okay, and we're going to, or actually let's not do it in this folder, let's go out to the animations folder and we'll do it here. We'll right click again, go to animation, and we'll say blend space, and we'll do this blend space here, not blend space 1D, because we want 2 dimensions. Okay, so we'll say blend space, and we'll do it for test male model, or sorry, not test male model, that's my bad. Do that again. Blend space for the mannequin. Okay, there we go. So we have it here. Let's name it something like, I don't know, sword, shield, I guess standing maybe might work. Standing underscore blend space. And the reason for this is because we could also have a crouching blend space. Okay, so we'll have this, call it standing. All right, now we'll open it up. And you should see that you have some parameters over here that you can change, and along with different values, and all your animations are showing up here as well. So let's go ahead and start creating our blend space. So first thing we're going to want to do is for this x-axis, right? This is the axis moving left to right. We're going to want to call this direction, okay? Because this is going to be kind of the direction that our character is moving. So because we're going to use that to kind of drive those strafing movement or the forward and backward running. Okay, so that's where the direction will come in to play. So for example, if we have a 90 degree, which will be this line, right? If we're moving at 90 degrees, then we want to be strafing. Okay, so you'll see that in a moment here. But basically, let's take the x-axis range and say negative 180 to 180. And we can leave the axis divisions to 4 and I'll talk about this more in a second. But then for the y-axis, let's call this speed, and we will change the y-axis range here to say 600. Okay, now hit apply parameter changes and you'll see everything updated. Okay, next what we need to do is add in our animations. So what we'll do is first I'm going to type idle. Okay, and we're going to look for our idle normal. So right here, right, if I click it, you should see it's normal. And coincidentally, I also backed out of the blend space, so I need to retype that. So we'll look for our idle underscore normal. Okay, and we'll take that, and we're going to pop that right down here in the bottom. Okay, so you're not going to see anything yet, but you will shortly. So we've got that. Let's also add some turns. So we'll say turn. I believe it's going to be this one, so we'll say turn left, right, we'll put this at 90, and we'll say turn right, put this at the other 90, so negative 90 and 90 I mean. Okay, then we're going to want to search for our walk. So we found this walk forward, walk backward, we have a walk left and walk right. So first thing we'll do is we'll take the walk forward, okay, and we're going to set this at about the, let's actually add some more divisions really quick. So let's make him walk at 200 units per second. So we'll change this Y division here to 6 and then hit apply parameter changes, and you should see now we have 6 divisions. Okay, so we'll take this walk forward and we'll put it at the 200 mark. Okay, and now you should be able to see that we're walking. And now I'm just kind of showing the rotation stuff going on, right? So if your character is rotating, he should be doing this kind of movement. But anyways, next we'll take our walk backward and we'll put those at both the negative 180 and the 180. Okay, because if we're going all the way backwards, so forward is 0 degrees, all the way behind us is both negative 180 and 180. Then we'll take the left, put this at 90. Okay, so if we're moving 90 degrees, then we're going to be moving left. And then the other 90, we'll say right. Okay. Okay, next we'll look for our run. So what we'll do is we'll take our run forward, put that at the 0. Okay, we'll take our run backward, put it at negative 180, and 180. Okay, then we'll take our run left, put it at -90, and our run right, put it at 90. So you should see we have this nice blend space, right? So animations kind of blend together depending on your direction and speed. Okay, so that's great. That's what we want. I guess the only downside about this is just that sometimes the blending, as you see right here, it's not perfect at all. So because of that, that's where these extra divisions can come into play. So for example, say you had 8 divisions, right? That means that you could add animations for 45-degree movement rather than only 90-degree movements. So that would really help you add even further customization. And that's really all I'd recommend at most. Like having 8 directions of movement, so 0, 45, 90, all the way around. And then that would be probably satisfactory. But for our purposes, this will be fine. So we can go ahead and save that. Okay, and we'll close it for now. So next, what we want to do to be able to kind of set up the states for moving between our normal kind of blend space and this sword and shield is we need to go into our character, and we're going to add 2 new variables. So we'll add a variable, and we're going to clean this up later too. But we'll add this new variable. We'll call it has weapon attached. Okay, meaning, oops, I misspelled that. Has weapon attached, meaning do we have we clicked use on a weapon? All right, so if we have, then that means we have a weapon attached. Okay, and then we'll add one more called has weapon sheathed. So I'm also going to be going over, using all these animations here, how to kind of sheath a weapon, all right, and kind of, unattach it sort of into kind of a secondary position, all right. So that's where that variable will come into play. Okay, so we have these. Now let's go ahead and open up our third-person animation blueprint. Okay, and we're going to go back here to the anim graph temporarily, or to the event graph rather. And as you can see here, what it's doing is every frame it checks to see if our pawn owner is valid. Okay, if it is, then it takes the movement component of our character here, of this dude, and it checks if it's falling. Okay, if it's falling, then that means you're jumping kind of. So it sets this variable is in air. Then it also gets the velocity of it and sets the speed based on the vector length of the velocity. Okay, so lots of stuff going on. But we're going to go ahead and add a couple more variables. So what we'll do is we're going to drag off of this speed here, and we're going to say calculate direction. Okay, so we're going to use this to calculate that direction variable that we had on our sword and shield blend space. Okay, so for the velocity here, we're going to take our get velocity, plug that in. Now for the base rotation, okay, we're going to do a pawn owner. So we're going to say try get pawn owner. Okay, and we're going to say get actor rotation. So we'll get the rotation of our actor, and we'll take its rotation and plug it into base rotation. So once we've done that, we can right click, promote to variable, and we'll call this direction. Okay. Alright, so after we've done that, now we're going to take our try get pawn owner once again, and we are going to cast to our character because we need a way to check those variables that we just made on our character. So we'll cast to our character, and then we'll say get has weapon attached, and we'll also say get has weapon sheathed. Or actually, I don't think we need that one right now. Yeah, we'll probably be good. We just need the weapon attached. Okay, so if we have a weapon attached, we'll drag off and we'll say promote to variable once again, and we'll say has weapon attached and add a question mark. So basically, we're going to use kind of the same variables, but we'll just add a question mark if it's in the animation blueprint versus the character blueprint. Okay, so that's just kind of one way you can kind of differentiate. You can, of course, name them different things, but I guess I'm just doing it this way. So we've done that. Now we can go ahead and add that blueprint or that blend space we made. So we'll go to the anim graph and we'll go into this state machine. So we'll double click to open it. And now down here in the asset browser, okay, you should be able to see this sword shield standing blend space. So we'll take that, drag it in. Okay. And now if we open it, you'll see it takes in two variables. So we'll use our direction, okay, and our speed. One thing I forgot to point out is I've moved my blueprints tab here. It's probably going to be down here somewhere. So don't be alarmed. Just find the My Blueprints tab. Okay, it's usually down here on the bottom. Just find it and use the speed and direction. Alternatively, you can right click and type get speed, or get direction. So yeah, don't be concerned there. So just compile and save. And now last thing we need to do, at least for now, is we need to add kind of a transition, right? That'll tell our character to go from one blend space to the next. So what we'll do is we'll drag from our idle run to our sword and shield and just drop it. And then we'll click this transition. And in here, we want to use our has weapon attached variable. Okay, so we'll drag it out and we'll just drop it right onto the can enter transition. And basically that just says, if this is true, then we'll enter. Okay, and then we'll drag back, open it, and we'll drag out here and say get. But this time we'll say not. So we'll do a not boolean and plug that in. And basically that just says if this isn't true, then we can go back to our idle run. Okay. So now that we've done that, we need a way to, kind of tell our, our character that, hey, we have a weapon attached. So what we'll do is we'll go back to our character, okay, and we'll find the equip and unequip events. Okay. So whenever we equip something, we want to say that we have the weapon attached. And whenever we unequip, we want to say we don't have the weapon attached. Okay, so we'll drag out, say has weapon attached. Okay, we'll set it to true. Then for unequip, we'll say set has weapon attached to false. Okay, compile and save really quick. Now the last thing that we need to do in order to allow that kind of, if you recall, the calculate direction to work, if we want this to work, we need to make sure that we enable using control rotation yaw on our character, which basically it just kind of allows, it makes the character rotate to face wherever your mouse's or gamepad's yaw is looking. Okay, so that's what helps calculate the direction. So if we look on our character here, you can see under, let's find it. If we look under pawn, okay, you'll see it's unticked by default. Okay, so we want to set this to true when we've equipped something and untrue when we unequip. Okay, so we'll drag off, we'll say set use controller rotation yaw. Okay, and since these are going to be the same value, we can just drag and connect it like that. That'll save us a little step. And then again, we'll say set use controller rotation yaw and plug it in like so. Okay. So now if we press play, this should work, I believe. So we can go pick up a weapon. If I press I, right, and I click it, and now I use it, right, we should kind of go into our stance. So click it, and there we go. We're in our stance. As you can see, there's a bit of a, a problem going on, so we'll just need to fix that later. That's just a problem with the turning in the idle state. But basically, for all intents and purposes, right, we can run around, and if we can strafe now, because we're using that controller rotation yaw, okay. If we, sprint, our speed increases to that 600, so that we're kind of sprinting, and then we'll drop back. But now, if I hit E and I unequip it, right, we go back to our normal position. So, I guess really quick, let's fix up that problem. We'll just go to the animation blueprint, find the blend space really quick, open it. Okay, here we are. And we'll actually just delete these for now. Okay, so we'll figure that out later. But anyways, yeah, that is, for all intents and purposes, the first step, in getting our, animations to work with the weapons and everything. In the next video, we'll look at, probably adding some attacks and such, and just kind of making the movement better. So, with that, thank you for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like it, like or subscribe, and we will see you in the next one.